Hi, my name is Carol. This is my video for my hashtag Make9 challenge for 2019. The first thing on my list is this trench coat from an out of print Butterick pattern. It has an interesting collar variation, but I'm going to just do a regular collar for this trench coat. I am going to make it out of this twill, which has a lame finish of gold and white, and it's going to be lined with this blue lining. Both are machine washable and dryable and have been pre-washed, and they're good to go. I put this project off for a long time, so I'm hoping to really get it on my list and finished for 2019. The second thing on my Make9 list is this pattern, which is another out of print Butterick pattern. I have made this before with the long sleeves in the short version, and I will be making this in probably the short version, but I might do the long sleeves because of my fabric choice. This fabric is a fabric out of my stash, which is just a really beautiful fabric that I've hesitated to sew because I think that it's just too pretty and I worry that I'll mess it up. But what's the point of that? I'm going to make it up this year. That's number 2. Number 3 is a current pattern from McCall's. Brittany J. Jones made a wonderful tutorial. She made the wide leg version of this pant. And this pattern is an interesting pattern. It doesn't have a set-on waistband. It just folds under. It has wide pleats and it has a fly front zipper that is easy enough to do once you figure out how it's done. Brittany's tutorial is excellent on it. I will probably be making the slim version because the fabric requirement is quite large for the wide leg. I have this polyester, I think I've had this fabric for a long time, twill. That's a nice lightweight with a good drape. I'm going to make those pants this fabric. Another stashed item busted. The next item that I'm going to make is this little blouse, and I'm going to make probably this version here with just the short version with the short sleeves, and it's going to be made out of this fabric, which I bought a couple years back at Joann's. It's a see-through fabric and it'll be worn over a camisole of some sort. This is going to be for my daughter, who's a massage therapist, and this is a nice flowy blouse that is cute, but it's also easy to work in. The fifth item on my Make9 is this McCall's pattern. I'm going to make this view, and I'm going to make it out of this fabric, which is out of my stash. This is kind of a peach skin with a two-way stretch, and it's nice and cuddly feeling. I think it will be very pretty and very warm and cuddly for this cold winter. The sixth item on my Make 10 is this pattern, which is a new look pattern, which is designed for wovens. But the first 2 times I made it, I had not really paid attention to the envelope, and I made it out of knits. It did run a little bit big with that, but still was a nice fitting pattern. I made these pants, and these pants I will be making again. I'm going to make them out of this rayon challis that I just recently purchased from an outfit on Etsy called Fabulace. It's a wonderful feeling fabric. It's been pre-washed already. It's good to go. And Fabulace has mostly pre-cuts. They're very generous in their cuts, and I've been very happy with every every fabric that I bought from them. My next item that I'm going to make, number 7, is going to be from this older Butterick pattern. It's going to be this men's camp shirt. I'm going to make this for my father. I'm going to make more than one shirt, but I'm only counting it as one. The 2 that I have cut out are these 2 fabrics. This is a quilter's cotton and this is a cotton lawn. As you may know, if you sew for men, it can be very challenging to find interesting fabrics that are not too feminine but still have some pizzazz. But my dad is not really hung up on that. He just likes pretty things and handsome things, so I'm going to make this for him out of these fabrics. And I'm going to go ahead and make a video on this because I'm going to do some adaptations for him having a little bit of a tummy as an older gentleman, and also sewing adaptations for people with mobility impairment, because the tiny buttons that are typically put on menswear are very difficult for an elderly person to button and unbutton. So I'm going to work on a video to explain what I did to make this shirt work better for a person with a little bit of impairment, but still able to get around quite well. The eighth thing is going to be a smash up between these two patterns. These are current patterns from New Look. I've made this one several times, and in fact, my dummy back here is wearing one of them. And on this one, I did the sleeve from this pattern. You can see that I pieced that to get a little bit of variation. This pattern both of these are designed for wovens. I've made them in knits, and I'm going to, the next one for my number 8 for my Make 9 is a stable knit. This reminds me very much of the 60s, which is an era that I really love. And these patterns both make me think of the 60s, and it goes together very easily. The only issue that I've had with this pattern is this one is very wide in the shoulder, and you can see that on the line sketch. I have put inserts on this one to make, I'm working on putting them in, to make it not be so wide as to slip off my shoulder and show my bra strap. But on the next ones that I cut, I've adapted the pattern and cut it in a little bit more narrow and slightly adjusted the facing. Very simple pattern, I highly recommend it. And number 9 on my Make 9 is another fabric that I've had for a really long time that is just very pretty, and I just hesitated to make it up. I could never find the right pattern. But I have decided to make it in this very easy Vogue pattern, and I don't think this is in print any longer either. I've had it for about 8 years, so probably not. I've made this once before. I was a little disappointed in it because I was making it under a time constraint, and I made it for my daughter, and I had a lot of difficulty getting the fit right, only because I was trying to do it quickly, not because of the pattern itself. So I'm going to remake this, and I'll be making the short sleeve version. I'm going to make it out of this fabric. This is a rayon, which said dry clean only, but I took a chance on it, and I washed it and dried it. It came through perfectly. And I might possibly do this waistline, which is an inset lace waistline. It's not a separate belt, in this contrasting pink. I'm going to set the pattern down. I might or might not. I'll decide that when I get there. So that is my list of Make 9s for 2019. But I want to add another thing to my list of what I'm going to do. I'm going to have to dig around for this. I don't know how to edit yet. So this piece of fabric is a silk, 100% silk crepe de chine that my husband bought for me when he was in Japan quite a few years ago. I have put off making it again because it's so pretty, and it's precious to me that he thought of me and took his time to go and buy this for me while he was out of the country. But there is only 1.5 yards of it, and it's 45 wide, so it is not lending itself to a lot of patterns. And because it's not easy to coordinate it with anything, I would probably lean towards trying to make a dress out of it. But I'm going to find a way to use this year. And I hope that I can encourage all of you to sew. We make mistakes. We have to rethink things. Some things don't work out as well as we'd like. This shirt is a good example. I have copied this from a shirt that I bought ready to wear. And I really loved the top, and I had 4 of them, and they all wore out. So I decided to try to copy the pattern. As you can see, it fits a little too snug. It's pulling across the front. I do think that the neckband lays pretty nicely, and the sleeves I didn't get quite right. I made it once before, and then I made this one, and now I have 2 more that I've cut out slightly larger, and those are works in progress. And we all have to try to do works in progress and figure out how to make things be successful and pretty for us. So I look forward to 2019. Happy sewing. My dog says hello. And if you like what I've done, push the subscribe button. I hope to be able to create more content and learn more of the technical side so that I will be able to edit things. And thank you, and happy sewing.